Alright, so I am doing this video on my time in Kingston, Jamaica. Upon arrival at Kingston, Jamaica, I checked in, or I dropped off rather, into Norman Manley International Airport. Pretty cool time. As I was walking through the airport, I got to see the great black leaders of this great black country, and how they influence. I can just feel the power, the energy when I was walking through the airport, seeing the different figures, the colors that were surrounding the airport. Also, I got to see some other people that are popular in other parts of the world, to include Marvis Garvey. When headed to my lodging, I met up with a gentleman by the name of Richard. He was my driver, and he talked to me about how it was in Jamaica, and particularly since I was there for New Year's Eve. He told me about the events that will be happening in the coming days. He explained to me that for New Year's Eve there will be a great party around the waterfront in Kingston. It's a time where people celebrate, dance, and bring in the new year. So having that bit of information was very impactful for me and my decision making later on. I checked into the Spanish Court, a beautiful hotel in uptown Kingston, Jamaica. From there, I went to walk around, do a little sightseeing. I got some necessities that I needed, and then I headed right to the legendary Bob Marley's home. Man, it was such a sight. I got to see where the man himself performed, practiced his music, made his music, and practiced his performance, and where his family lived for some time. It was a really cool experience. Just watched a documentary on Bob Marley, his inception, from his father and his mom, how his mom had such a huge importance on his life, what she instilled in him, and as far as hard work and being the best, and how he changed from more of like a soul singer. He was a part of a group, and to becoming morph into the reggae artist that he eventually became, with the locks and the style of clothing that is synonymous with Bob Marley. It's really cool, really great experience. I actually had some additional footage of Bob Marley in his home on my vlog, Motivational Movements, on YouTube. So check it out. Later on, I went and got something to eat, and after that, at one of the local vegan spots, and then after that, I went out for a little bit. I eventually came back in, and the next day I wanted to check out some more of the island. So after I got breakfast, I met up with another gentleman named Carlton, and he drove me all throughout the island, through the different parishes, Manchester, etc., all the way to the city of Negril. And Negril, very interesting. First time I ever was on the 7 Mile beach. Got to walk on the beach and see the ocean. It was a great time. I met some cool people. Met a driver. He explained to me about how Negril was, the nightlife, and it led me to Rick's Cafe. Now, Rick's Cafe is one of the popular homes of spots in Negril, and there's a place in Rick's Cafe where is really famous. It's where people go and they'll go by the cliffside and they'll jump off into the ocean. So it was cool. Finally, I've read about it, I've heard about it, and then I finally got to see it. So it was quite the experience. I had some Jamaican punch, I believe it was, one of the popular cocktails there, or drinks there. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend that when you're on the island, to get some Jamaican rum, Jamaican punch. Later on, I went out later that night and went by some of the discotecas, or the clubs, the nightlife there. and talked to some of the locals, some of the Americans. Some of the locals told me what they thought about the Americans. Interesting. I got to see some weird, crazy ass shit there too. I walk on the beach, I will see a white woman with a black guy, and we all know, unfortunately, racism is a big thing, and interracial dating, is taboo, particularly with a black man and a white woman. And when I was in Negril, I would see like one white woman with a black man, another, and I know this thing shouldn't be a big deal, but it is, unfortunately, and not promoted by so many people that look like me, but I would see it not once, not twice, not three, not four, not five, but it would be like 10, 20 women, and it just looked like the men were younger than the white women. So I don't know what kind of business was going on, a business transaction was going on there, but it was definitely interesting. I just felt a vibe of, these are kind of like the white women that I deal with in America, who are white supremacists, and now they're walking on the beach with these young black men, and I'm like, what are they doing? What is their angle there? It was just real. It seemed nefarious, frankly, and it seemed like it was maybe something transactional, like how women complain about men traveling overseas for sex tourism. It seemed like the white women were doing that, sex tourism, preying on young black men, and I even had some women try to hit on me. It was older, older women. Very predatorial. It appeared to me, so I thought it was gross. But I'm pretty sure the men that maybe come from humble beginnings take the money that they get back and help out their family and do the best they can after being dealing with super predators that come to their island and harass the black men who are called super predators in America. After that, I walked around, talked to some locals, talked to some of the African Americans, and then I talked to the Jamaicans, and it was really cool. They told me about their culture. They told me about how reggae, what reggae meant to them, and they talked to me about the food, the great food there, the different places to go, to include Ocho Rios, and then also Dunn's River, and all the great places I could check out as a tourist there. It was cool being in that kind of environment, seeing black people work together, and because it's a poor island, tourism is a big way to make money, and so you're gonna have people that are trying to get you with that. They don't have Uber or Lyft there. That's something to note. So you're gonna pay if you're not riding the bus, you're gonna have to pay for transportation, and it can be costly, to say the least. And compared to some Latin countries I've been to, like Panama, where they have Uber and Uber's dirt cheap, you're gonna pay a lot of money. It cost me a grip just to get from Kingston to Negril. So that's something to be mindful of for you travelers that's traveling. In addition to what the local told me about checking out Ocho Rios, I think Kingston gets a bad rep. I think Kingston was actually a very cool part of the island. I didn't feel unsafe there. I walked around. I mean, I obviously when you think you're in the hood, maybe you should make a U-turn. But like, I think Kingston really is where it's at. When you think about Montego Bay, I went there too. I didn't really like it. It seemed kind of bougie, but it just based off of my experience. But when you go to Jamaica, at least from what I saw, I think Kingston should be one of the number one spots you go to. I think you really get a feel for the culture. I think that's where you'll get to see the different kinds of people that's there. I think that you'll get to see the upper class, lower class. You'll get to see really where the musical culture that has made Jamaica popular come from, the dancehall reggae music, and the artists. I believe they come to Kingston for to get bigged up, so to speak. I think that it also has a lot to offer. You have when I was driving from the airport to my lodging, the waterfront was beautiful, man. It was amazing. Obviously, safety is a concern. You don't want to go to certain places like Trenchtown and so forth. It can be a little rough around that area. However, if you know where you're going and you're on you're mindful of your surroundings, I think that it can be a really enjoyable time. I also recommend hiring a tutor. I'll put some of the people that I use to help me get around in the description box for this video. I think overall Jamaica is a very beautiful country. It's nice being around black people who are not constantly mean mugging you all the time. They're not walking around angry. And I think that's because while it was a country that dealt with slavery and racism, I think by being a majority black country, the black people have more pride than, let's say, a lot of black people in other Western countries like the United States of America, where I come from. Obviously, blacks in America have had a lot of pride, most notably in the 70s with the whole promotion of black love and all that good stuff. But I think as materialism came into play and the value of what is outside of you as opposed to what's inside of you became more prominent in the culture, the hip-hop culture, et cetera, became the deaf and the collective standpoint of self-love or holistic love of all within the African diaspora as regards to African American culture, except for certain pockets like in certain parts of the South and so forth. And this can be displayed in hip-hop. When you look at the artists that stick together, it's normally more so the Southern rappers than the East Coast rappers or even the West Coast rappers. And that's due to programming, of course, number one, and then it's the culture, which influences the culture. I think in Jamaica, you're gonna find a lot of people that are proud to be who they are. They're Jamaican, first. They're Jamaican, and they're black, and they're proud to be that way, and they're not against it. You do have some, I didn't experience it, but via research, there's some of the same issues you see in the African American culture and all African diaspora, with this, the Spice, the legendary dance hall singer. She talked about it a couple years ago about how she bleached her skin, she get more pop, and then when she's dark skinned, beautiful woman, but we all know dark skinned women are vilified. Much more than, let's say, light-skinned women. And that's all goes back to the Willingness syndrome and just pathetic self-hate. I didn't experience that when I was there, but it's based off of research that's an issue there too. But I think, and then also you had the slave mentality, all that. But for the most part, the people was pretty cool with me. They'd be nice to you, if you help them out, for the most part, they'd take care of you as well. That the kind of people they seem like they was. And, I really would recommend it is to check it out. If you want to get away from the rat race, I would say Kingston. You want to make a trip to Kingston, and via word of mouth, even Ocho Rios. That could be a place to check out, and maybe take a couple-day trip to Negril to see the beautiful beach that is in Negril. I would say, gotta try the Jamaican food there. Drink the surreal, the jerk food. If you're a vegan, veganism is popular as a subculture within the Jamaican community, and it was several restaurants for vegans in Kingston. So definitely check it out. Let's see. Yeah, man, that's about it. Just made this video to talk about my time in Jamaica, the place I've been to, the different experiences and sights I saw, good and bad, or good and weird, and just that's about it. If you're looking for a place to go, I recommend going to Jamaica. Till next time.